But first, can you believe it's almost 15 years ago now since that Qantas A380 flight came perilously close to disaster when its engines failed over Indonesia. Richard de Crespigny was one of the 5 pilots on that day who saved the lives of all 469 people on board. Well, today he's fighting to save the aviation sector from a disaster of a different kind. He says the industry must abandon its quest for net zero carbon emissions and has called so-called sustainable fuels a fad. I'm pleased to say Richard de Crespigny joins me now. Richard, thank you for your time. Just talk to me about this pursuit of net zero. Is it driven by practicality, ideology, politics? Because now that we've got a change of heart from people like Bill Gates, who says there are bigger issues to worry about and that adaptation's key here, not lowering emissions, why is aviation still going down this course?
Hi, Peter. First of all, on the anniversary of the 15th year of QF32, I just have to thank all the members of the crew in the cockpit and the cabin that helped save all those passengers, and that's what we are acknowledging today around the world for all the people who survived it. Now, in relation to the net zero, for aviation I'm particularly interested in, it's not that Bill Gates is showing interest. There have been lots of support across the industry, and even Professor Jonathan Coldrick from the Australian National University, he recently gave a presentation to the military in Australia where he said it is a diabolical problem because there's really no solution. Everyone would like to get rid of CO2, excess CO2, and every kilogram of fuel or petrol we burn generates 3 kilograms of CO2. And if we do nothing, our footprint of CO2 will double by 2050. But the problem is, in trying to solve the problem with aircraft, it's pretty well unsolvable because for long-haul aircraft, they require high-density energy fuel, and jet fuel is unequalled. You can't get anything else to match that. So the long-haul aircraft are really stuck. If you want to fly those aircraft long distance, you're going to need jet fuel. Short distance aircraft don't need jet fuel. We'll be able to transition to batteries, but they're so small that actually won't have a big effect. Now, aviation only contributes about 4% to the quantity of CO2 produced, and maritime is about the same. So it's not just aviation, but it's maritime as well, that needs about 8%. But you see, that leaves 92% of the rest of emissions of CO2, where perhaps the politicians that are trying to push this net zero, I hope they're all driving electric cars that don't emit CO2. There is no need to have that in manual or petrol cars in Canberra. So the problem is in producing these biofuels or sustainable aviation fuels. We do it generally by displacing crops or cutting down forests, and Europe is actually prohibiting that.
So talk to me about you make the point about their long range, or our tyranny of distance in Australia means that we will be one of the big losers if this becomes mandated around the world because we require long range to cross into the Northern Hemisphere. What's the issue with these fuels? Is it range? Is it power? Is it safety? What's your concern?
The problem is that batteries don't have the energy density to support an aircraft for long distance travel. It's too heavy for the energy. You need jet fuel, which has got the lowest specific gravity or the highest energy density. Now, we do need, Australians all fly long haul generally for holidays outside the country. And the answer, if you want to go to net zero, is you just have to accept we'll have imposts on flying. You might get a budget of how far you can fly in a year, and you'll just be prohibited for flying aircraft. Now, if you don't want to do that, then we just have to perhaps say, well, let's look at the other 92% of the CO2 and see if we can do something there. Because I think the concept at the moment of still having gas to provide electricity in the country as a backup is terrible. And let's also remember that the gross domestic product per capita of any country is reliant or depends upon cheap, reliable, good quality energy. And having a gas backup is not sustainable. So it means that even though we're going to have solar and wind and hydro and lots of batteries going in at 1,000 a day, we're going to need, and this is because of AI and extra demand coming in from AI, I think we're going to need nuclear reactors as well to give us reliability. everyone who's watching this needs to ask, for how many minutes a day are they happy to take power going offline when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine? If you want that answer to be 0, then we have to do something about it, and we're not. So I'm focusing on the other 92%, because aviation, I think, if you do want to fly in 2050, you're going to have to focus on other areas.
You've always been a big advocate for the sector, an important voice for aviation. I know people are listening to you now thinking, I want to hear more from this bloke. You have a new podcast. It's called Fly Richard. I'm going to encourage my viewers to download that podcast and listen and get engaged in the debate. I'm sure we're going to speak again. Richard de Crespigny, thank you very much there. 15 years on from that miraculous saving of lives over Indonesia.